said this. Not a man and a woman. 3 years later, civil unions on Ellen. You support unions, I do, but not.
Martin O'Malley took note and released this video when she announced her decision. History celebrates profiles in courage, not profiles in convenience. And on trade, was a champion for the Pacific Rim Agreement. As Secretary of State, she traveled around the world, pushing the administration's seal at least 45 times in public speeches, saying it sets the gold standard in trade agreements. Last week, she came out against it, siding with labor unions and liberals who say it will cost jobs.
As of today, I'm not in favor of what I have learned about it.
And this new position on trade could be front and center in the debate tonight. She is now aligned squarely with most liberals in the Democratic Party, but she certainly has left an opening for herself, for Bernie Sanders, Martin O'Malley, or others to walk right through. But there is a fine line between political flexibility and political flip-flops here, and she learned a lesson from that 2008 campaign when she refused to say the Iraq War vote was a mistake. So some of her supporters say she's wise to make these changes right now. Erin?
All right, Jeff, thank you. And out front now, U.S. Senator from New York, Kirsten Gillibrand. She's a supporter of Hillary Clinton. Senator, it's great to have you with me.
Great to be on.
All right, so you're a Jeff support. Look, you evolve on some issues you change your mind, some issues you react to the polls. That's the reality of life as a politician. But let's just start with the perception here that trade deal has won. She negotiated it, she fought for it, she traveled the world for it, she spoke out for it for 45 times. How can she now say she's against it?
Well, a lot of us have concerns about the trade agreement, so she's not alone. And I think being a candidate for president is very different than being part of an administration where you're actually going out and doing negotiations. I think she shares the concerns I have, that it might cost a lot of jobs. If you look at the record of trade agreements over the last 2 decades, it hasn't gone well. It certainly hasn't gone well for my state of New York. So I think those are legitimate concerns, and I think we'll hear a lot from her today about what she does think is important for the economy, what will create growth for the middle class, how do you handle these bread and butter issues of affordability that families are struggling with.
So on this issue, though, of how it's perceived, this memo that we were just talking about from 2008 that the Obama campaign authored, at that time, it was NAFTA, the trade deal. They talked about how she changed her view on that. HRC is driven by politics, not conviction, from the war to NAFTA. They list a few more. Clinton is constantly shifting, dodging, changing positions to satisfy the politics of the moment. That perception is still the perception of her now. Why is that perception wrong? It doesn't go away. Because Hillary is exactly who she's always been. She's been a person who cares deeply about the well-being of families and women and children. You look at her upbringing, you look at the life her mother lived and what lessons that taught her about hard work and never giving up. That's who Hillary is. And whether she has a different view about whether this trade agreement is going to help the economy or hurt the economy, that is a legitimate, substantive issue that needs debate. It needs debate amongst all Democrats, frankly, because we're going to have a decision about whether we're going to vote for or against that agreement. So how does she convince people that she is not the 3 words that they currently associate with her, as we've talked about, both overall voters, so Democrats and Republicans, but the top 3 words were liar, dishonest, and untrustworthy?
She just has to be herself and talk about what she cares about. What I love about her campaign right now is she's talking about a whole host of issues that weren't on the top 10 list. She's talking about drug problems among teens, about overdoses of prescription medicines. I haven't heard that as a national campaign issue. She's talking about a national paid leave program, something that would absolutely help our economy grow. So the more she talks about the things she's really passionate about, her determination, her fighting spirit will come through, and that's what I love about her, and that's what so many people love about her.
So you also love a lot about Vice President Joe Biden. You said if you were a betting woman, you'd bet he would run. You've said a lot of really nice things about him, talking about him as
he's a great public servant, cares deeply about many issues.
All right, so when you say that, it makes me think that's something, that sounds like something you'd say about someone you were endorsing. Would you consider switching your support?
No. I support Hillary Clinton. I think she's the most qualified for this job. I think her experience will really turn this country around. I think her focus in the last several years on fighting terrorism, on foreign policy, only enhances her abilities and her experience. I think Hillary's the right choice. That's why I support Hillary. But I think more candidates are always good for a primary. I think if Vice President Biden wants to run, he should run. He's a person who's dedicated his career to public service and helping people. And I think it just makes our candidates stronger. But Hillary's my candidate, and I think she'd make the best president.
All right, Senator, thank you very much. I appreciate your time. The Senator, of course, will be here throughout the debate. And behind me, the debate stage, as you can see, will be the site of tonight's showdown between Democratic frontrunners Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders. And when we return, the debate moderator, Anderson Cooper, will take a break from his preparation to come out front. Welcome back to Out Front. We are live inside the Wynn Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, where in just about an hour, one of the most important debates in the race for the White House will begin. The podiums are in place. The crowd is now taking their seats. You can hear them behind me as they're chatting. The candidates will soon be making their way backstage. Anderson Cooper is the moderator of tonight's debate and taking a break from your preparations to come talk to us. All right, so what's your goal for tonight?
you know, the goal is to have a good, tough debate. I mean, to get the candidates talking to each other, but also to have tough questions put to the candidates, and that's what we've been working on for quite a while now. And you know, we hope to be as aggressive and pointed, and get the candidates to answer.
So what do you do when a Bernie Sanders says, well, I'm not going to mention Hillary Clinton's name? I mean, you obviously don't want that to be the case.
No, look, I mean, it's not my job to force somebody to fight. If anything, you end up looking bad if that's what you're trying to do. If candidates aren't going to address each other, that's fine, but then they need to address the facts, and they need to address their past statements, and they need to address their policies, and we're certainly prepared to make them do that tonight.
So one person not in the room that is going to be getting a lot of attention tonight, Donald Trump. He said due to popular demand, so many people have been asking him, he is going to live tweet.
It's been huge. It's been huge.
So I know that you're going to be, you know, there's some questions that could come in from Twitter or Facebook, or if Donald Trump asks one, would you consider asking, or what?
I don't think so. No, I mean, first of all, if I'm checking social media during this debate, then everybody's in trouble. It's, you know, hopefully we'll have a lot more to do. Look, we've been talking to thousands of people around the country on Facebook. We've had a camper going out, people giving us video questions. So we have a ton of social media questions and stuff from viewers already. You know, I don't think I'm going to be checking my Twitter feed during the 2 hours.
All right. Well, Anderson,
but I look forward to reading his tweets afterwards.
Yes, they will be entertaining.
No doubt about it.
No question about that. All right. Well, Anderson, thank you very much. Anderson's finishing his final preparations as he gets ready for the debate that he is hosting. And I want to head outside. The candidates are making their way back to the debate backstage in those final moments. That's where Brianna Keeler is standing by for us right now. And Brianna, who's here? Who isn't here? How does it work there? They come by you and come straight to their rooms to prep?
Take a look. We actually have Governor Martin O'Malley arriving here at his green room trailer. These are all in alphabetical order. So on the left, you have Lincoln Chafee, Hillary Clinton. Then you have Martin O'Malley, Bernie Sanders on the other half of this trailer. And then over here, you have Jim Webb, who has arrived. And so now you have O'Malley, you have Webb, you have Lincoln Chafee, who are here. We're still awaiting Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders, of course, the front runners in this race. But this is part of the logistics to go into pulling something like this off. You have CNN crews who are here, and they are actually here to mic up the candidates. So they have to make sure that they are ready to be heard when they take the stage here in about an hour.
All right, Brianna, I love that shot behind you with the trailers. There's something kind of neat about that. I don't want us to be able to spy through the walls on each other or something. You get a trailer. All right, thank you to Brianna. Michael Smerconish back with me, Anna Navarro, Dan Pfeiffer, and Van Jones. You know, you've been behind the scenes in these debates. Dan, what are they doing in these final moments as they get ready? Are they...
Hopefully they're relaxing, because what you really want to do, like sitting in that trailer, the walls start closing in on you. You get nervous. For Barack Obama, we would always either have the First Lady be with him or the two aides who would most relax him because they could joke around with him. Robert Gibbs, our former press secretary, and Reggie Love, who was his body guy. And they just kind of laugh. And if someone's in there being like, do you remember what the GDP of Finland is? Like, that's bad for them. And so, you know, and I would say the other thing I'd say is this is a big stage. And you may have been in the Senate for years or had debates, you know, throughout your career. When you get here, these are the Cleveland Whites. The Vermont public access debate, that's Little League ball. This is the major leagues tonight.
Well, if Hillary Clinton takes Paul regardless of whether she's on the trailer taking a couple of shots of vodka. I just hope it's American vodka.
It is really hard to imagine a level of pressure and stuff. Listen, even just those of us who are just commenting, you know, we're stressed, we're nervous, we're excited. Can you imagine being any one of these people and knowing whatever you do is going to be on YouTube forever? It's not just tonight. And if you make a mistake, if you make an oof like a Rick Perry, your career is over.
Well, Brandon, let me tell you something. It turns out that when it's the opposite team's debate and you don't have a candidate that you're worrying about his performance, it's not stressful whatsoever. This is a lot of fun.
I remember that feeling a few weeks ago. It's funny what runs through all of our minds and all of their minds. I had a brief conversation with a son of Bernie Sanders who looked at the stage and he said to me, geez, those podiums are close together. You know, Dad is a very evocative person. I think he's worried, what if he bumps into Hillary inadvertently? There could be an issue tonight.
That would actually be great, though, because those are the moments we talk about, the unscripted moments that can create an opportunity for something nice.
One of the things that I think is going to be very interesting in this room is the crowd. I remember being in the Cleveland debate, the first GOP debate in Cleveland, where there was a big crowd, and it was, frankly, the crowd could have had a podium on the stage because it was such a part of the stage. It was a big factor. Today, there's 1,300 people here. Each campaign got something like 60, 70 tickets. Plus, there's a lot of people from Nevada, from the party, and I think, they could have a huge role.
There was a podium backstage yesterday. Everyone was joking because it was an extra podium. Who was it for? Was Joe Biden actually going to show up? I got to ask all of you, this whole Joe Biden, let's just say he really is thinking of jumping in. And, I know some people are skeptical whether he is at this point, but everyone says he's got to do it by now or else it's too late. October 3rd, 1991, October, Bill Clinton jumps in the race, wins, beats a sitting president.
But that timetable, that timetable has been extended in the last several cycles beyond where it had ever been in the past. I think he needs to get in soon. I have to say that in between all of my CNN appearances in my hotel room, all I keep seeing today is that 90-second commercial of the draft Biden campaign, not the one that he thought crossed the line, but a more tame version of it. And it's compelling.
Well, but also, look, there's a huge level of expectation and enthusiasm for Joe Biden, but expectation and enthusiasm can quickly turn into fatigue.
Yeah.
So I think he's got a window of time. It's closing. He also has some filing deadlines that are coming up that you just can't ignore.
If it looks like he's just waiting to see if Hillary blows herself up in the October hearing, then I think the bloom comes off the rose. I think it's fine for him to take a step back. Look, if Hillary Clinton mops the floor with everybody, maybe he goes, I don't need to get in. If she stumbles back, he can jump in, but he's got another week or two of this, and then it starts to be disrespectful.
This decision is not about Hillary Clinton. This decision is about Joe Biden.
I 100%. I think Joe Biden's making a personal decision, not a political decision, but the political realities are coming to bear here. Every day, Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders are recruiting more organizers, more volunteers in these states. They're raising more money, and so. October 1 was late, November 1 is even later, and he could still get in and still make a very strong race, but I think the window is closing quickly.
Joe, if you still want to do it, we know people. We can get you Skype. We can talk about Skype.
So here we are in Vegas. You walk by all the sports betting areas. So go ahead. Do all of you think that Hillary Clinton has the best shot? Is there some way that somebody could come out of this the winner? Well, winning tonight.
I think she's the prohibitive favorite for the nomination. I still think it's even money in terms of the general election. Do I give her an edge this evening? I give her an edge this evening. She's comfortable in this forum. I mean, by this stage in 2008, 13 debates had already taken place. So she's got the notches in her belt.
Yeah.
Look, she may not win on points tonight. Maybe Martin O'Malley will have a more exciting performance or something. But at the end of the day, what matters is she goes into this the largest front runner in the history of the non-incumbent front runner in the history of the Democratic Party. And if she comes out of that same spot, she won this debate, regardless of what the judges get the score.
But it sounds like you're in with the highest expectations because everybody knows she is a seasoned debater who's done well.
The only thing is if you're in her position and you're thinking all the things you all are saying, right? You just don't want to come out a loser. You end up playing it safe. And playing it safe exhibits the exact Hillary Clinton that doesn't win over new voters, right? It's this sort of catch.
I think this time tomorrow we're going to be talking about Martin O'Malley. I'm going to say that right now because I think, first of all, you can't have zero political skills and be a governor, be a mayor. He's at zero right now.
I grew up in the state of Maryland. Yeah. He's a very popular governor.
Very popular governor. He actually got things done. I think, listen, right now, he comes on. Nobody's seen this guy before. I think he says, look, I'm an executive. I've done stuff. He says to Hillary Clinton, look, how are you the front runner? You're just following me around on all my issues. And I think he comes up 3, 4, 5, 6 points. I think some of this Biden enthusiasm might go toward him. I think that right now we're all Sanders and we're all Hillary. I think O'Malley has the biggest opportunity tonight.
Well, then, since I'm from Miami, Florida, I can tell you can be mayor and governor and have zero political.
I think Jim Webb is the wild card. I mean, here's a guy who was a Marine combat veteran who was Ronald Reagan's Secretary of the Navy, an acclaimed author, gets elected against George Allen, and yet we really don't know what to expect when he gets on that stage tonight. He's nuanced. He defies labels. You can't call him a liberal. He's populist on economic matters. I don't know. I'm intrigued by what he may bring.
That's going to be the exciting part. And I think everyone's going to be watching for that, to your point, right? You want to see the new faces. What are they going to say?
I think the exciting part is Bernie Sanders. That guy has brought excitement to this campaign from day one.
There's been people out rallying outside, got trapped by people. Feel the burn, they say. All right, thanks so much to all of you. And next, we are live here in Las Vegas tonight. It's less than an hour now until the candidates for president take that stage behind me in their first televised debate right here on CNN. Bernie Sanders drawing those huge crowds. Polls have been doing incredibly well. Can a self-described socialist, though, win the White House? Sanders' campaign manager is out front next. looking live at the debate stage inside the Wynn Hotel here in Las Vegas. We are less than 1 hour away from the first Democratic debate. We are awaiting the arrival of Bernie Sanders, the main challenger right now to Hillary Clinton. He is expected at any moment. They go into those trailers. They each have one for the final preparations. I joke it's because that way they want to make sure no one can hear or put their ear against the wall. But at any rate, Bernie Sanders will arrive there any moment. Out front now is Senator Sanders' campaign manager, Jeff Weaver. Jeff, so obviously Bernie Sanders is going to be arriving right there to those trailers any minute. Any last-minute preparations he's been doing? What's he doing in these final minutes?
You know, I think he's been sort of relaxing this afternoon, just sort of gathering his thoughts and, you know, probably working a little bit on his opening statement a little bit at the end.
His opening statement?
Yeah, just a little bit. I mean, you know, he worked on it over the last couple of days, and I'm sure he put a few final touches
and wrote it all himself?
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So you know, Bernie Sanders has been doing so well, and there's been all these people here in Las Vegas. I saw nurses from Bernie, Feel the Burn. I mean, it gets a lot of passion from people. Bernie Sanders does not run away from being honest about who he is. And one of the things he said he's very honest about the word socialist.
Right.
Let me just let our viewers hear him say it in his own words.
Are you a capitalist? No. I'm a democratic socialist. What democratic socialism is about is having a government which reflects the interest of ordinary people.
As a democratic socialist, whose view is similar to many governments throughout Europe, no, I do not believe government should control everything. But I do believe that healthcare should be a right of all people. I do believe that college education should be affordable to all people.
Democratic socialist. All right, so a Gallup poll recently said half of Americans would not vote for a socialist, and to a lot of people, whether you put an adjective of democratic in front of it or not is almost irrelevant. Will he back off that word if it comes out tonight?
I think, you know, you talk about that going out in the world. People are really not concerned about these labels. What they're concerned about is the substance of what people are talking about. I mean, if you look at the most recent polls in Iowa and New Hampshire, Bernie Sanders does better against Republicans in general election matchups than Hillary Clinton does. So obviously there are a number of Republicans who are not even bothered by the quote-unquote democratic socialist label. So, I mean, I think at the end of the day, people are more concerned about his willingness to deal with income inequality, to deal with the high cost of college education, to deal with the need for universal health care than they are silly labels.
So he'll stand by that term if someone comes after him tonight, which they might, right? I mean, you never know, right?
You never know.
You never know what's going to happen. And these passionate supporters in huge crowds, right? I mean, this has sort of taken the country by storm.
Everybody by storm.
Right. People just that are his fans are passionate about it. A new poll today, though, came out. He was trailing Hillary Clinton by 20 points, and it was a little bit of a drop, about a 5-point drop in his support. Would he consider running as an independent if he doesn't get the nomination?
No.
Is it even on the table?
No, absolutely not. 100%, zero chance that he's going to run outside of the Democratic Party.
But why? He's not even registered as a Democrat in the Senate.
No, well, there's no
He's an independent. I mean, he's an independent.
Right, but he's caucused with the Democrats for 25 years. He was the Democratic Veterans Committee chairman in the Senate. He is currently the Democratic ranking member of the Budget Committee. So he has worked within the Democratic Party structure in the Congress since he's gotten there. And in terms of the poll, it's interesting you mentioned this poll that just came out. The difference between he and Secretary Clinton now is more narrow than the same margin of President Obama and Secretary Clinton back in 2007 on this same date. So
when she was in the lead.
Yes, exactly. Yes, another candidate who couldn't win.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, we shall see. It's gonna be fascinating to watch tonight.
Thank you. Yes.
And I know you got to have your butterflies in your belly right now.
Absolutely. Well, I'm not up there, but
yeah, right. But all right. Thanks very much, Jeff. I appreciate it. And out front next, the first Democratic presidential debate just moments away. The Republicans are going to be watching very closely tonight. Donald Trump live tweeting the debate. Could Trump steal the thunder? The room is filling up here in just a few minutes. We're counting down to the debate. Anderson Cooper, of course, is going to be your moderator for that debate. Thank you so much for watching Out Front. AC 360 with Anderson begins right now.
And good evening, everybody from Las Vegas. We're just 30 minutes from now. 5 Democratic presidential candidates face off for the first time. There is certainly a lot at stake. There's certainly a lot of excitement. At the center podium on the debate stage, frontrunner Hillary Clinton. To her right will be Bernie Sanders. To her left, Martin O'Malley. And on the ends, Jim Webb and Lincoln Chafee. I'll be moderating tonight's debate with additional questions coming from CNN chief political correspondent Dana Bash and CNN and Espanol chief Washington correspondent Juan Carlos Lopez. Don Lemon will be bringing in your questions via Facebook as well. There's been a lot of activity all day here on the debate floor. And as I said, the excitement is palpable. Brianna Keeler is in the debate hall. She joins me now. What's happening where you are, Brianna?
Hi there, Anderson. Well, I want to give you a look at the stage behind me. You can see where Dana Bash and Juan Carlos Lopez are going to be standing. You'll be standing, of course, across the stage here, asking questions of the candidates. Their 5 lecterns stand ready for them. They are actually not far from the debate hall. They are in their green room trailers. We were just out behind the hotel as some of them were arriving. Martin O'Malley, who 1/8 says has a guitar in his trailer. He'll be preparing that way. Lincoln Chafee, Jim Webb, we saw them out there. And also, as we await Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders there at their trailers, it's really interesting as we wait for them certainly to come through what really is sort of the back of the hotel here and eventually make their entrance onto the stage. They did, at least a couple of them, get a welcome from Senator Harry Reid, who came to their trailers to say hello. Looking out at the audience here, a lot of people excited. They are milling around. We see some rather familiar faces in the crowd. Jesse Ventura, Jesse Jackson, Wayne Newton. We even have a Real Housewife of Beverly Hills. So you have a lot of people who are really ready for this debate to get underway here in a little over a half hour. Anderson?
How have the candidates been spending the last 24 hours? We saw Secretary Clinton out at a demonstration outside a Trump hotel here with some workers, I believe, who were wanting to unionize. Do you know, were they doing debate prep today?
Yes, they were doing debate prep today. I know specifically for Hillary Clinton, I spoke with one of her aides, and she had debate prep this afternoon. Remember, there was a walkthrough here, though a lot of the candidates did. She did not do that. So she was focusing on that debate prep. She's been working for some time. This is really the last minute of all of it. She's been working now for weeks with a team of litigators. Martin O'Malley, he's been working for weeks. He also is doing some debate prep today as well, Anderson.
All right, Brianna, thank you very much. Lots to talk about with our CNN political commentators and Atlantic Media contributing editor Peter Beinart is here, Democratic strategist Donna Brazil, vice chair of the DNC Voter Project, Democratic strategist Paul McGaughy, he's co-chair of the pro-Hillary Clinton Super PAC and was a one-time advisor to President Bill Clinton. Paul, if you were backstage with Hillary Clinton, which I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to be, so it's kind of part of a super PAC, what you can tell me here to do tonight? And this is the part that's the most. I was the last person to talk about it. This is what I would say to Hillary. What I said to her husband. You got a good prep. You got good one-liners. You got good plan. Lots of stuff that pops in your head. Say, you have great instincts. You trust your instincts out there. Don't just rehearse and analyze it. That's what she needs more than anything, is that confidence to throw it. And it's hard to do it in the front. Or her instincts as good as her everybody's instincts are as well. They have to make the president. And she's got to go out and trust those instincts. Donna Brazil, I mean, she hasn't debated since 2008 on a presidential stage like this. Is a candidate who's debated as much as she has, do you think she gets nervous?
Absolutely. I'm sure there are times when she just want to make sure that she remembers not just her lines, but also what the other candidates have been saying. But you know what? The goal is to be yourself, to really be in the moment. Look at this crowd. This is an amazing crowd. Some faces, familiar faces, new faces, a lot of shiny new objects. I think she is going to get out there like the other 4 candidates, feel the energy, and she's going to perform very well.
It's interesting, Peter, because I mean, compare this audience to the one at the Reagan Library, which was the last CNN debate, the GOP debate. That was about 500 or so people. I think there's about 1,300 seats here. I think you're going to feel and hear this audience a lot more certainly than you did during the Reagan debate. I fully expect you to be booed several times by this audience. I'm ready for that.
I get some wet kisses.
What do you think? Well, I have that actually. already checked out where the exits are today. Peter, Bernie Sanders, there's so much enthusiasm among his supporters. If you were Hillary Clinton, do you try to appeal to those supporters tonight, or do you try to make yourself be more of a moderate for a general election matchup?
I think she can't get worried about the enthusiasm gap. There is an enthusiasm gap. The most partisan, enthusiastic Democrats, many of them are with Bernie Sanders. What I think she needs to focus on is not him, but pivoting away from this very disastrous summer by reminding people of what her core strength is. Her core strength is that she knows the policy. She's someone, even if you don't believe she's trustworthy, you know she's well informed, that she's qualified. She's very good when she talks policy. She's very good on substance. I think she needs to remind people of that core strength.
Well, some of these candidates who are very low in the polls, 1-2% at most, do they try to punch up? Do they try to make a name for themselves by going after a Hillary Clinton or even Bernie Sanders?
They might, but it's not smart. Today's Washington Post ABC News poll has Hillary's favorable among Democrats at 79. That's remarkable given that she's had a summer of hell.
She's got a big problem, though, among independents.
Of course, but that has to come later. She's got to win the Democrats first. And if I were advising her, I'd say, if they hit you, never punch down. And remember, Scripture teaches that a soft word turneth away wrath. Not my favorite passage from the Bible, I have to say.
I know, but when have you ever practiced that?
I never have. But she's a better person than I am. She could do that.
They're here to introduce themselves, Anderson. They want to be able to not just connect with the people inside, but begin to tell the world outside who they are, why they're running, and why they should be the front runners in the race. So I think this is going to be a good night for Democrats and a good night for America.
Well, Donna, if you're Bernie Sanders and you're introducing yourself to a lot of viewers who maybe certainly have not been to one of your rallies with tens of thousands of people, and maybe are have a lot of questions about, wait a minute, you're a socialist. Do you play that up? Do you try to appeal to more moderates? What do you do?
I said last night, it's not what people call you, it's what you answer to. And I think Bernie Sanders answered to working class families. He answered to people who are struggling, who want to get a job, who want to make ends meet. There's no question that Bernie Sanders, who's never run in a Democratic primary, is now in the Democratic primary. We're excited about him. He has really appealed to a lot of new voters. So tonight is an opportunity for all of us to feel the burn. I want to know, Anderson, if you feel the burn, are you going to get all loosed up and all wavy and groovy like everybody else on the Feel the Burn team?
Do you think there's anything wavy or groovy about me? You think I have an ounce of that in me?
Well, Anderson, I've seen some moves lately.
Well, yes, there were some moves. Well, I still don't know what you're talking about.
That's obviously research right there.
Donna Brazil, Peter Beinart, Paul Begala, thank you. The countdown clock is certainly ticking. In just a few minutes, the 5 Democratic candidates are going to take their places on the podiums of the lecterns here on the stage behind us. Let me just ask you, because Paul, you certainly have been, as you said, in a lot of debates with Bill Clinton. How nervous does a candidate get? I mean, even a candidate who has been, who's done a lot of these. Hillary Clinton has done dozens and dozens.
They tend to internalize it, though, and they get real quiet. I sat before one debate in the general election. I sat in a locker room with Governor Clinton, just bounced the basketball back and forth silently. And then when he did talk, he wanted to talk about the spy novels he was reading. Just get your mind out of it for a little bit. And these folks, all of them, including those who are at zero G,